Hello. Just want to run through the listing audit module on SellerForge, which is an AI-driven Amazon seller software. The listing audit module is really powerful. Basically, all of your listings are already going to automatically be imported via the SP API, and so you'll have a list of all of them here. And from there, you can audit any listing you want. You can search by ASIN or title if you have a lot of listings. For this one example, let's do this product. And I'm just going to regenerate the entire listing audit so you get an idea of how it works. Now this will take a couple seconds because there's a lot of data that it's looking at. Trying to pull every image, A+ content, pricing, best practices, of course. So yeah, it takes a couple minutes. While that's happening, I'd like to point out also that software does have this really nifty seller assistant on the side. The seller assistant can see everything that's on your current page and in the current module you're working on. And it also has, of course, all of the data from your Amazon business based on the marketplace you connected. So all of your sales data, account health metrics, listings, inventory, all sorts of stuff, and also your advertising data. And so anything that happens, we can ask right in the sidebar if we need any advice or we needed to draft a response to seller support or generate an AI prompt for the image recommendations from the listing audit. Anything you can think of. It's just a much better AI assistant than using a standalone chatbot because of the context that it has from the software. So you can see the listing audit is running now. When it's done, we're going to have a really good in-depth analysis of what we should change in this listing to improve conversions. And again, it's doing a lot. It does a lot. So it takes a little bit. But the good news is once the audit is done, it's saved in the software. You can always reanalyze any listing. But yeah, generally, of course, this takes a little bit of time. So it'll save it in your login, and you can come back and revisit the listing audit anytime as you kind of work through the recommendations that it provides. And it's looking at everything, backend keywords, obviously listing, bullet points, images, listing title. Here we go. We're getting there. COSMO Semantic Readiness is some of the newest kind of updates to the Amazon algorithm that feeds into Rufus and the AI, which you can see now it's generating the Rufus AI Readiness. Almost there, guys, I swear. Just wrapping it up now. Getting to the final whole summary of recommendations based on priority. All right, we're done. So, look at all this. From the top, we've got your audit score based on these 7 dimensions, which are just kind of visualized over here. You've got images, title, bullet points, description, backend keywords, COSMO Semantic, and Rufus AI Readiness. Those last 2 are kind of the most recent 2026 best practices based on what people are calling the A10 algorithm. And you get a score based on all of those different factors. Now, the first section, image analysis, because I do believe images are the most important part of the listing. You've got a score, and what's really cool is all the images are actually imported into the software with these dotted lines to the actual thing that it wants you to fix or that's working well. So of course green is good. The product fills up the space well. No size or reference scale Q. It's hard to know how large the product is. And no safety badge. In this one, you've got good usable lifestyle shot, but no BPA free text because that would be useful for a toy. And then there's of course overall image scores for each image itself. As we go through the images, there's plenty of good recommendations. When the score is low, it basically is failing. You can see this one's passed. It's like, you're pretty good. You can keep it. Might want to do some small improvements. The ones that fail generally need a replacement or a full redesign. And then at the bottom, under these images, you've got basically a summary of each image and what should be changed potentially. Quick recommendations. And then from there, the software itself doesn't have a, image generator. I think there are other AIs that are just purpose built for that. What it can do is generate, for example, an AI prompt for each image recommendation. So you can say, hey, generate an AI prompt to submit to Nano Banana for this listing using your recommendations. And here it comes. So ready to paste prompts for each image. And that'll basically fix all the issues right there. Alternatively, of course, you can submit these recommendations to a designer, freelancer. Moving on from there, title analysis, current title, issues identified, and recommended change. So it'll generate a title that's just overall better for ranking, and you can actually directly push that title to Amazon without even going to Seller Central and make edits if you see fit. You got bullet points analysis of these tiles, basically a score for each bullet point itself, and then the summary. And then of course, same recommended changes you can push to Amazon right there. Same with the description and A+ content. It can pull A+ content for your own listings. The API can only do that. It can't pull A+ content for competitor listings. But for auditing your own listings, then this function will work. And then same thing, if this is just a basic description as well, you can push the description. Keyword analysis section. You've got basically the top 10 keywords identified based on volume, opportunity, saturation, overall keyword score, and it'll say which ones are actually in the listing already or which ones need to add. So you can see that these ones, infant teething toy, teething relief toy, these should be added. More keyword analysis, backend search terms. You can also add, good for ranking, COSMO Semantic Readiness, basically a simulation of different search queries and the coverage for each search query based on the listing. Then of course a score. And again, lots and lots of information on how to improve the listing by using this data. And at the end, Rufus AI Readiness, more and more Amazon is going to be using the AI companion to prioritize listings, re-rank them, So this whole section will provide tailored recommendations for this listing that are made to better rank in the context of Amazon's AI assistant called Rufus. So if you ask Rufus, what's the best baby teether, you'd want this to come up. And then you finally, at the end, have a recommended action summary to just distill all that information down into something actionable that you can do quickly. So that's it. That's a rundown of the listing audit tool. Really powerful. You can audit as many listings as you want, unlimited amount of times if you purchase the software. Thank you all.